How we doing today? We are in a trade right now on demo, but today was a pretty cool day. It's been a little bit tricky, but we have data highs to go over. Some trades. We took two trades, one loss, one win, and there's a lot of good things I did today. Weirdly, I'm not like just ecstatic about being up because I was down, lost about half of my risk, and then I came back and won a good amount. I'm sure it's in the title, but I won around $230 total on the day. And yeah, that just is good, but it doesn't feel like insane because 200 is right around what I risk or try and risk. Recently, I've been risking around like 100 per trade, so it's been kind of weird. But right now, just quick context for this trade. I'm sure you guys that watch the videos understand why I'm in this, just an inversion right here. I think we have an SMT 1016. No, we don't. 1057. We don't have an SMT, so I thought we did. But we have this LR right here. So I'm anticipating this to get ran as the first TP right here. I would scale in these conditions. I would scale 3. Take 3 off there. Take 1 off at this equal highs and let our runner do its job. You know what? Since it's practice, I'll scale 2. And yeah, stop would just be a close back below, so I think a stop would be appropriate right around here. So that's well in our risk, 200. Even though this is practice, I like to practice doing our risk management. I will go to break even here, or I'll go to break even at this high, because I don't really love the way Dodgy goes to break even, but it does save him a lot of time. So that's enough on this point. You guys can sweat this out while I talk. Yeah, so the first trade was to the data highs, and it was right. It wasn't because of any bullish bias, anything like that. We had taken the data low, which on NQ is like further down here, so we had swept the data low, and we got an inverse of, or I took it off of this. We made an order block here, and we had inversed all of these down close candles right here. Or up, we inversed these imbalances, right? So I got in because of this order block. I thought that we'd have enough to hold price and go to the equal highs, or the data highs, kind of relative equal highs. We didn't. I stopped out for a loss. My stop was like around here, 5 micros, about like 120. And yeah, I took a loss there, which is annoying, but it's part of the game, right? One of the things I did really well was, and we'll get off of the practice so that we can see the chart clear. One of the things I did really well was after this loss here, right? This was pre-market, so the more I take pre-market trades, the more I've just been getting dominated, but I don't hate it because it's data high. The only time I will ever take a trade pre-market is if it's a data high. So I do want to just go on this here because the data low is different. I don't know why today. This threw me off. Anyone let me know in the comments. Notice here, the news candle, notice how this is just non-existent, and then on the actual NQ chart, it's all the way down here. That was just kind of interesting. But then we end up selling off, and this is where I started to frame like a real bias, which was, let's see if I put it in here. I had a real bias, which was, I wanted to inverse the 4-hour and then go higher, so we haven't done that. We actually have sold off first. Here, we've actually been holding it. We actually rebalanced to this 4-hour right here, this tiny gap, this 4-hour balance, right? And then also this 1 hour, we came down and swept these lows. So this is the picture that we have right here, is this hourly imbalance. I think these are some overnight lows. I could be wrong. If we go on ES, we can do this. We can do 15-minute. So this is like the middle of Asia sessions lows and London session. So important key level that we swept. And we're also in this imbalance here in this order block. So that was kind of some of the confluence behind when it sold off to there. Also, when it sold off through there, we had created, we have the opening gap, the opening range gap. The opening range gap is actually right here. This is the midpoint. We traded to midpoint. We then inverse this 1 minute fair value gap, but I didn't like taking that. I wanted to see this thing inverse. And I'll get rid of this now that we have the context. We then come down, we put an SMT, the SMT doesn't hold. We sell one more time, taking out the low of day, and then sweeping, like the low of New York day, and then sweeping out these lows here in the imbalance. Really close to touching the new day opening gap of today. This is the current new day opening gap. It's actually a pretty significant gap today. And then we end up getting our second trade. We got our second trade right here on the 15 second. I know it's the 15 second. People have told me chill out on the 15 second. I agree, but I also like to disagree when you get this big of a candle and you get this sweep of liquidity. This signature is just really nice to me. And I just have a lot of conviction that is about to send us higher. Also, we had some more confluences in here. We came back to this 15-second fair value gap. We held. We had a 30-second fair value gap right here that got inversed, that held. Right, I got some confluences. I'll pull up the trade, and I'll show you guys how I managed it. But then when we closed above, I don't know if I got in when we closed above or if we got in on this order block. Can't remember. And then this chopped around, and as you can see, it was from, I got in around 950, so we were in the macro as well. And we slow down, we come back down, we hold this imbalance. My stop loss was kind of, I wasn't in love with my stop loss placement. It was right underneath this body, this box. I probably should have put it below this low. But I really didn't know where best to put the stop loss. We actually do a very good job of holding this 15-second order block right here. We actually hold that pretty well. And then this is 10 a.m. We had news. I wasn't afraid of it because it was orange folder. Maybe that's not good. But it held very, very well. And this really was a catalyst. After this candle came in and we displaced higher, I knew that we'd see higher prices. So I'll pull up the trade here for us to watch, and let's see the practice account here. Let's see when we go. So I would probably go to break even if I was on my actual account. We now have an order block that should hold price right here. This is the trade, obviously, and I would want to see higher, so I would go to break even. It really shouldn't come back down lower if we're in bullish conditions. This could have been a scale on a day like this where it's a little bit more trappy price action. Just because, right, like we have body highs, we've already been rejecting, so I would want to see it go higher. It would be kind of stupid if it stops us out, but again, it's paper. So pull up the first trade execution here. Okay, I can't do that. There we go. First trade execution here, we'll just kind of speed through this one. This is the loss. We get in, like I said, we get in on the, this might not be the trade. Okay, this wasn't the trade. I started recording and it didn't give it to us, so my apologies. Here's the trade. The trade was here. Boom. We get in off this order block. Right, that's kind of what I marked it out as. This inverse. We inversed with an order block. I don't hate this trade. Like looking back, it's not a bad trade. It's just, it's not like A plus, but it's not like a B minus. It's not like a, it's not lower than a B minus. Maybe a B minus. But yeah, very, very okay with this trade. Maybe like it made equal highs here on the NQ chart. It didn't on it didn't on NQ. It took out the highs. MNQ, it kind of made equal highs. And I was kind of just not really sure where I want to put my stop loss. Let things play out a little bit. When we got this candle, I trailed it at $92 because there's just no reason to lose extra on this trade. It's not really too aggressive. I'm not trailing it too tight, and it's rebalanced in this fair value gap. So I didn't want to see it go lower. I'd already wicked lower, and I was kind of just accepting the fact that maybe it could stop me out early. But since it's pre-market, I never want to lose too much, which is why I'm glad I didn't risk full 200 because it's pre-market, right? We still can make a good amount, but it's pre-market, so why stress ourselves out? So that was the first trade, and here's the better trade. And this trade here was nice, right? So let's see what I do actually end up getting in off of. I end up getting in off of, after this order block, this fair value gap held, and we put in this 15-second order block, I just entered a little bit prematurely, which is all right because we had a 30-second inverse. So it wasn't really with no entry model. We had an entry, right, with the 30-second inversion. I just wanted to see how it held up good. And now my extra confidence was to see this 15-second get ran through. I really wanted to see that. Glad I didn't go to break even at this high, which actually I don't know if we hit before getting break even stopped. And this is where I'm just managing my emotions good. Normally I'd be really scared to try and hold this trade. I would probably have gone to break even at that high. So that's improvement in my opinion. And we trail our stop, and I was like, okay, this is too tight. This movement's not really too much conviction in this move, so it could just come back down, rebalance. So I was moving my stop a little bit too much, but it was never too aggressive. This move, I'm like, I guess I'm just counting my lucky stars that I didn't get stopped out because, like, why did it reverse there? I don't know. My stop was just there, so now I move it underneath the 15-second fair value gap to the left, right around. I moved, but right over here to the left and this leg up. So now I'm like, okay, I was honestly expecting to lose at this point because ES was already taking out these highs here, which kind of scared me. If I'm remembering right, I'm pretty sure it took out this highs, and I felt nervous because of that, right? It made me think, okay, NQ is really weak. We're probably just going to sell off. I had my stop at this low. I don't love this. I shouldn't have it here, but I was like $97. Maybe I get a re-entry, was my thought process. If we speed up, I wanted to see this 15-second get inversed, and then I'd be happy with my stop placement here. Didn't get inversed. Wasn't happy with it. I think I ended up moving my stop. Underneath this fair value gap, risking 150. So this trade here, I was never risking more than 150, which is nice because that's well in my risk parameters. And I would have been fine if I would have lost again. I would have lost 100, 250 on the day. So it would have been more than okay. Hopefully we would have stopped if we lost. But then we get a nice candle here. I think this is 10 a.m. Yeah, 10 a.m. just hits right here. So we'll watch how this plays out. So we inverse this 15-second. 10 a.m. opens in 3 seconds. And then boom, 10 a.m. opens. We run lower, and I don't move my stop yet. We run higher. This is where I wanted to go break even. And it would have been fine, but I wanted to see because 10 a.m. was volatile. It was news. So now I'm at break even. We had rebalanced here on the 10 a.m. candle, so we put in a 10 a.m. wick. And I was like, okay, let me not get stopped out here. Let's let the first 1 or 2 minutes of 10 a.m. happen. And I was nervous because that's just how I tend to get when I trade. I'm getting better at, right? Normally this trade would already be closed out back in the day, so I'm getting a lot better. I'm really happy with that, really happy with this thing, with this improvement. I mark out this order block. I was like, okay, if this thing gets closed above a green candle, I will move my stop to break even with no complaints because we shouldn't run lower, right? We shouldn't run lower after that, especially on 10 a.m. It should speed us up. We should start to see acceleration. So at this point, I'm just kind of like hem-hawing around, break even, not break even. Not really sure what I want to do. We had 3 seconds on this close. We didn't get a good close for our stop, so we move it back down. And then I can't remember, but this candle comes in really quick, and I'm like, okay, this wick here, I have to go break even because this should be the last little bit of liquidity to just send us flying, which I'm happy with. And I moved to break even a little bit early, but anticipating that's going to go up. We now have this 15-second order block. We have this. And then we do take out this high or get close to it. So now I'm happy with my break even. We're up $230, which is cool, but I'm glad I didn't just close the trade. And this is what I'm happy about here is that I almost dragged my 3 micros and almost dragged them off here for a loss of around 9-10 points, right? Which is 20. So that's $60 I saved myself by not doing that. And I was like, okay, it'll either stop me out of break even or it will go hit my take profit. And I was like, okay, this is a stop loss here. I moved my stop loss to this order block because I wanted to see a follow through with this candle with this big green, and look at this close. This close told me, okay, we have to go hit this high. So I had my stop here so that I'd be even on the day, right? And then I move it to break even after we take out the high because now I'll let it run. We're up 100 on the day. We hit our take profit. So we are break even. So there's no need to have my stop loss at this order block anymore. I've moved to break even. Very, very happy with how I managed that because that's just something I thought of on the spot. Because notice how this candle, I just went backwards. Notice how this candle, I didn't let go of it here. Notice how this candle has 6 seconds left to print, and it's about to close above this wick. It really shouldn't come back down, and if it does, I'm locking in like a break-even day, basically, small profit, and I wanted to see it run this high. So it does run this high. That's about 33 points. I remember 34 points. Made us about 200. Put us up 100 on the day, plus it, put us up 100 on the day, and let us go to break even comfortably. This trade here, this micro was the 930 high. This is a 5-minute fair value gap, and it was 50 points. So I was more than happy to leave a runner to that high to get another $100, and then let my runner go to the data high. This trade here, I was happy that I held this too. This is another good thing. Normally I would just close this position, and yeah, hindsight, closing the position would have helped me. But I'm happy that I let this thing play out. And at this point here, when it's moving like this, it really has no reason to not take out that high. So I had a lot of conviction, especially when this blue box here gets inversed in a few seconds. And there it goes. It hits us out. Now we're up $200 on the day, and we have a chance to make 200 more if it runs to the data high. At this point, I thought that we were going to set sail. You know, I was happy. I mean, look at me. I was listening to music here. Look at my reaction here. I was happy. I was cheesing. I was hitting a little dance. Look at this. Look at this. Ooh, look at this, look at this. We hit a dance right here. Yeah, we start singing. Ooh, ooh. Dude, we're hyped. We are hyped here. This is the body language of a relieved trader. Look, I take a little picture. Take a little picture of the trade. You already know. I was happy, right? It wasn't anything euphoric. Like some days when you hit like a really, really good trade. But it was just like a nice little like, okay, I know what I'm doing. This week's still going good. And then this thing actually kind of just snowballs down to our stop loss. And I kind of move it to the order block because it was moving so quick. It was moving so quick that I wanted to just lock in something. And I got another 20 there. So $226 was made. And wow, this thing stopped me out at break even. It stopped me out for a little loss, actually. That is crazy to me. So this is more confirmation that when this setup fails and we sweep these highs and we fail to take this high, this is where you shut off your computer until PM session if you like the trade PM session. Do not, I mean, obviously you guys are going to see this probably after the fact anyways, but this was the last straw right here. These low resistance liquidity not getting taken. Last straw. For that to be a break-even trade, and that is wild. So yeah, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with that. That just shows you the conditions that you're trading. And just notice this, right? And this has been a tricky week, I would have to say. And if we look at our stats here, we're back to negative $81 in the month, which is really exciting because we had a throwaway day here where we lost everything pretty much, and we didn't need to. There was absolutely no need. So if we were to just take out this $1,000 day, which again is cherry picked and not real, so I can't do that. But let's just hypothetically say we just lost power that day and didn't trade, we would be up $1,000 this month. So that is really cool to see. Again, that's if, right? It's not the reality, but I'm also happy with how I've been kind of scraping back the wins, right? The wins have been scraping away at, that day, and we're doing all right, right? I'm very happy with this performance. This week's been pretty good. I shouldn't have lost this day, but I took a bad trade, got out early. I got closed out quick because I knew it was bad. I actually took a really, really nice trade on my dad's evaluation account because it was his last day on his eval. He was slightly negative on it. So I actually ended up taking a monster trade. It was like the trade of the day. And if you guys remember this day, it was like a 15-minute fair value gap tap into a 1-minute inverse, ran like 70 points. That trade I got in, I executed, and I mean, because it was his last day on his account and he was down, I held it really well, and we ended up making $800 on that trade. So that was actually my trade of the month, but just like on my dad's account, on an eval on the last day where there's nothing really to lose. But that also built some conviction with me too, because it proves that, if I just trade with no emotions, like I had no emotions when I traded on his account, because it was the last day on the account. There's nothing to lose, and I saw a good setup, and I just held it. I wasn't afraid. It stalled for about 20 minutes going sideways. I'll actually pull up the trade. I'll pull up the trade here on the chart. I think I have it on the chart review. The 1 minute here. It was on Tuesday. Tuesday's 1 minute. Yeah, we had it right here. Tuesday's 1 minute right here. Boom. This was the trade I took. I took this exact trade on my dad's account. We had the low resistance liquidity. We had the low resistance liquidity here. We had been just going down. We hit this blue box, which is a 15-minute fair value gap. We put in an SMT. We inversed that, and I got in here. We held to here. And even right here, on this spot right here, I held really, really well through this. We made another low resistance liquidity, and we ended up running full TP, right? This is a 5-minute bullish. this whole move right here, this was like 20, 30 minutes of just sideways price, and I held it because it didn't matter if we lost, right? And this move was just so clean. So yes, it's in a sense basically a paper trade, but it just shows the level I could perform at if, you know, I traded without emotions. And this was a like 70-point trade. I ended up with like 5-6 micros. I ended up making like 600 to 800. I can't remember exactly. And ended up running even further. And that was really a confidence booster. So even though this week on my actual account I'm only up $400, we took the one win here today, or the win and the loss. We also took the small wins yesterday. And my bias was right. Yesterday I took longs. So yesterday, here were the trades we took. Yesterday, unfortunately, I was trying to take longs. Got stopped at break even on this one. Took another long, small take profit break even. But I failed to recognize the shorts playing out and look at my prediction before the market happened, right? This was today, my bad. This was my prediction before the market happened. Low resistance liquidity, run lower, right? With the SMT at the high. What actually happened? The actual happened in the market. Low resistance liquidity, ran lower. So my prediction was spot on. And I actually would have been able to get a very clean day in here with my annotations, right? Equal highs taken, inversion. Don't know if it's anything good yet. We make a fair value gap here. Boom, we tap the fair value gap, we trade lower. We hold this fair value gap, we send higher. Inversion here, inversion of this fair value gap right here. Order block tap, this would have been the entry. Equal lows, boom, take profit, boom, take profit. Or this turtle soup in a 5-minute, right? We turtle soup these relative equal highs, right? We turtle soup at the low, turtle soup at the high, inversion fair value gap, target this low, target this low. Fantastic day with my bias. I literally had a bearish bias, but I chose to take longs, which is cool, but we have to do better there. And then my bias today is to go higher, so it's not really playing out. But yeah, that was yesterday, and it's just interesting that I had such a good read on the market yesterday and didn't make money much. But yeah, so today was a good day. This was a good day. I took a good trade on my dad's account, like I said, and did well with my emotions. 2 small break-even / wins yesterday when I was trading against my bias, so I could have done better there, but in terms of results and like seeing the market wise, good. And I think this was a win and a loss. I should have taken the better second trade, but my second trade was just more of kind of emotional. But overall, a really good week. I'm really happy with. Tomorrow I'm going to be careful because it is a Friday, and I just don't want to throw away a good week of conviction on, you know, a Friday. But I'm very happy with this week. I think I performed well, and I've just learned a lot and gotten a lot better. And if you guys are keeping up with the first trade per day, Thursday, this is how I document it. Come on. Thursday, today, we're actually starting to really outperform the one trade per day, which again, I need to collect a lot more data on this. But the first trade was negative 92. And then the second trade was the actual P&L is 226. So we're up $605 by trading twice, and we're down, or we're up 112 from just stopping after one trade. So the first day made a big difference, but the rest of the days, the biggest difference was here and then today, right? This is a $300 swing. This is about a $300 swing, so that's why we're such a big difference. Yes, this was a 115 or 180 that we lost on that on top of it, but notice the difference when you win, right? So I really thought that one trade a day would work out better, but for how I've been trading, maybe when I start taking better setups and start holding better, maybe the one trade will work better. But yeah, currently the one trade is behind, which is interesting. So this is interesting data to collect. And where we're at now, we have an SMT at the low. Yeah, market conditions are not really suitable right now for me to trade, and that's really all I have for you guys. Don't really have much to review on the actual price action today because in my opinion it's just kind of choppy. Maybe we could just kind of real quick, why can we expect today to be choppy? The only reason I would be able to give y'all is yesterday's sell-off, right? We take out all the liquidity to the downside. We then overnight retrace the equilibrium of this entire range, right? If we mark out here, right, equilibrium of the range, it's kind of sloppy because I have so much lines on my chart. Equilibrium of the range right here, we trade into it overnight, and we've just been kind of stalling there. So it's always tricky to navigate, and I have so many lines on my chart. I'm just going to get rid of some. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys. I'm really happy with how I traded. And okay, yeah, last thing I wanted to go over for myself was that whenever I took this loss, I cannot lie. I had every ounce of my being wanted to just go in with one full contract, scalp 5-10 points, try and make $100 to $200 and be break even / a little bit in profit for the day, and then wait for a good setup and then try and take the profits, because I couldn't handle the fact that I was down $95 or 92, whatever it was, 92, 95, whatever. And I knew that if I could just get 5 points, and it was specifically during this part of the market, right off open, and I was like, if I can get 5 points, if I just short or long and let it, and no stop loss, and let it get 5 to 10 points, I will be up slightly or I'll be break even on the day, and then I can trade, was my mindset. I'm super, super, super happy that I was able to completely suppress that desire, because I really, I can't even express, like, I almost did it, right? I almost did it. I almost just was like, screw it, let's make something back here. And I told myself, what is that going to do for me? And I said, and I thought to myself, what is that going to do for me? Yes, even if it works and it makes me $200 and now I'm up 100 on the day, and then I take a winner and then I make 200, now I'm up 300 on the day. What will that do for me? What will that teach me? What will that build in me? And that's just bad habits. That's false conviction, right? It's not going to do anything for me, because making $100 today or losing $100 is not going to be the difference of becoming profitable. Becoming profitable is keeping my head calm, taking a good setup, risking good risk, and making our money back that way. We made $226 back with the loss, and we did it the right way. We didn't do it over leverage. We didn't take a dumb setup. We didn't take too many trades. We did it the right way, and we got rewarded. So I'm infinitely grateful for that decision, because a lot of times I would have not been able to beat that demon of, just get in here and you can just make a quick $200 and then we'll be good. We'll be break even, then we can trade, right? That doesn't do anything for me. It's a very parasitical it's a parasite mindset to have. And I'm just really, that's like probably the best thing I've done psychology-wise in a long time, because I really wanted to do it. I was really close to doing it, but I just knew, would I be proud of myself for doing that? And the answer is obviously no. So I was able to say, look, I'm not going to be proud if I do that, even if it works. I'm going to have to come on and talk about that. I don't even want to do that. I'd rather lose on the day and take another lot to trade and lose. I'd rather do that than just make my money back just gambling and being just a degenerate and just doing it in a stupid way. So I'm super proud of myself for that. That's the best thing I did today, was that, and I'm really happy with everything else. And if I can continue to have a good mindset like that and really be able to reason with myself, because those urges are going to be there, but it's about logically thinking with yourself and knowing right from wrong and doing right, even if it's going to result in less money, right? Because if I did short here, I probably would have made that whatever, and it would have felt all right in the moment. It would have felt, oh man, good thing I made that back. But the reality is that is not going to do anything for me, and I was able to recognize that and do the right thing. So definitely just wanted to highlight that, because again, this is my personal journal, and I want to, like, this feels like a turning stone, because I've been making mistakes still, but I've been making a lot less mistakes. I've been making a lot better mistakes, right? Even the psychology mistakes I've been making have been making more sense. So I'm super happy with that. And yeah, I'm going to lob didn't close. I was going to say lob a paper trade on this inversion, but it's low conditions anyways. I appreciate you guys that watch the videos. We're about to hit 2,100 subscribers, which is crazy. Did I put a quarter? I think I did for 2,000 subscribers. I think I put a quarter in. But again, I appreciate all the support. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we can round this week out well and have a good day Friday, and be careful Friday. Hopefully you guys had a great day. Hopefully you guys do something fun today. And just be grateful for the progress you're making in your journey, wherever you're at, because this isn't easy and it never will be. But if you continue working hard, it will pay off. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.